So the family store will require purchasing new products to keep it going, whether you're rotating or making the initial investment. And since this store is a not-for-profit, um, the return on investment is not going to be measured in monetary terms. And so wise money practices is highly encouraged. The number one rule is never go into debt. That's what the brethren have counseled us, and so we want to make a plan that's consistent with that counsel. And so we'll be using our current sources or created sources of income, and we'll likely have to gradually acquire it over time in a systematic manner. Because of the rotation factor, it's going to feel like it's a two-step forward, one step back, because you're going to have to constantly. So this is more of a lifestyle than a project purchasing. All right, I'm not going to be able to cover all of the different approaches available for intentionally acquiring food storage, but there are some creative options that I thought might be fun to share. Just going to highlight a few. One of them is extra. Anytime you go to the store and you purchase something, just buy something extra, whether it's an extra can or an extra several cans. Buy something for that meal and something for storage, or buy a case of something. Get something extra. Another option is a budget, where you actually have a spending plan. And in that spending plan, your regular income, there's money set aside for food purchases, storage food purchases. I did want to share mine. I have this, what's called a floating foods fund in regard to the life preserver. And just whenever the kids got something from the storeroom, if they had money, I'm like, you got to buy that. Or if we have spare change, we just stick it in there. And that's one way to gradually accumulate funds, whether it's 50 cents a day or $5 to $10 a week or $50 a month or whatever you decide to do. Another idea is have additional funds. So if you have an Etsy product, and every time you make a sale, you can put it towards that, or a tax refund, or dividends, interest, or whatever a type of additional funds, you can designate that for your food stores. There's the sacrifice option, where you take a purchase that you normally make and you're going to sacrifice that and invest it into your food storage. A daily soda, sacrifice that. I'd say a daily cup of coffee, but we don't have to worry about that. Maybe a subscription. Subscribe to your food stock. So probably the one that needs to be used the most, that I highly recommend, is just to use your food storage. That way you're not throwing it out because you didn't rotate it. There's so many benefits. You don't have to spend as much on the grocery store for the food for the month, for the week, for the day, whatever your purchasing patterns are. But your body can acclimate to that type of food, and it may improve your health even. So you're not purchasing those unhealthy pleasure foods. All right, and the last idea I want to talk about is what I'm going to call interest. Those who understand interest make it, and those who don't pay it. Basically, you're charging yourself interest every time you utilize something from the family store. You charge the household less interest. And so that's how you gradually accumulate funds for that purchase. All right, so we just talked about sources of getting the funds, but you're also going to have to take into consideration which products you're going to purchase and which wholesalers, you want to get the best price, and maybe a timeline. I'm not actually that organized, but those are all things that you can consider in your family store business. I will mention that there is no right or wrong way to go about this, though I would strongly recommend that you could include, or that you might include, the Lord in your purchasing plans. Invite Him into the planning. Pray for the discipline and the diligence needs to be followed through and not get distracted by other things. Trust that He's aware of your desire and efforts and He's championing you toward accomplishing it. Maybe ask Him to orchestrate the details for you to accomplish it. This is a righteous desire, and it's a we've been counseled by the brethren, by Savior, to do this. So help Him, allow Him to help you accomplish that, and then still move forward. Trust that the Lord will guide you in your efforts. And that's what I have to say about purchasing.